My child, listen to me carefully, because I am about to reveal something that happened last night, something your soulmate never said out loud, something they tried to hide even from themselves, something that will leave you speechless once you understand the truth. Last night, when the world around them became quiet, when the lights went off, when no one was watching, the strongest moment of their life unfolded. They were not laughing. They were not distracted. They were not pretending. They were not busy. They were simply alone with their thoughts, and for the first time in a long time, they could feel everything they were trying to escape. My child, last night your soulmate felt you. They felt your energy. They felt your presence. They felt your absence. They felt your love. They felt your pain. They felt your silence. They felt the distance that has been sitting between you both like an invisible wall. And this time, they couldn't brush it off. They couldn't avoid it. They couldn't run from it. Something inside their chest tightened in a way they couldn't understand. Something in their heart whispered your name again and again. Something in their spirit reminded them that they cannot escape the connection that ties both of you together. For the first time in a long time, they felt a heavy truth: they miss you more than they ever admitted. Last night wasn't just another ordinary night for them. Last night, something in their soul cracked open. The emotions they were hiding for weeks, months, maybe even years, rose to the surface all at once. They tried to stay calm. They tried to breathe. They tried to distract their mind. But nothing worked. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw you. Every time they tried to sleep, thoughts of you woke them up. Every time they tried to push you away from their mind, your memories pulled them back in. My child, I am telling you the truth, they felt you calling them without words. They felt your heart reaching for them in silence. They felt your sadness traveling all the way to their spirit. They felt your longing touching their chest like a quiet ache. They didn't understand what was happening at first, but deep inside, they knew, this was not ordinary emotion. This was a soul-level pull. Last night, your soulmate sat alone, thinking about everything. Every mistake, every distance, every unspoken feeling, every moment that went wrong. They replayed small memories. The way you looked at them, the way you spoke to them, the way your presence made them feel seen in ways no one else ever did. They remembered your voice. Your eyes. Your touch. Your kindness. Your patience. Your love. Your silence. Your pain. They remembered all the times they didn't value you enough. They remembered all the moments they acted like they didn't care. They remembered all the times they hid their true feelings. They remembered all the times they pushed you away because they were afraid. My child, last night they realized something painful: they have been hurting too. They always thought they could control their emotions. They always thought they could stay distant. They always thought they could pretend. They always thought they could stay strong. But last night, all of that broke. Their heart softened. Their defenses collapsed. Their stubbornness melted. Their fears cracked open. Their pride fell apart. They could feel every single feeling they buried. And the deeper they felt it, the more they understood that no matter how far they go, no matter how silent they stay, no matter how much time passes, they are still tied to you. My child, you may not know this, but something triggered their emotions last night. Something small but powerful. Maybe a song. Maybe a memory. Maybe a dream. Maybe someone mentioned your name. Maybe they saw something that reminded them of you. Maybe they felt lonely in a way they couldn't deny. But whatever it was, it hit them like a wave. Their chest felt heavy, like something was pressing on their heart. Their eyes felt warm, even if they didn't cry. Their breathing became slow, as if they were trying to hold everything inside. They reached a point where they couldn't pretend anymore. Even if they didn't cry out loud, inside, they broke. Inside, they whispered your name. Inside, they wished they could talk to you. Inside, they wished things were different. Inside, they wished they hadn't hurt you. Inside, they wished they could undo the distance. My child, last night was not a night of weakness, it was a night of awakening. They finally realized how deeply you affect them. They finally understood how powerful your connection is. They finally felt how incomplete they are without you. They finally acknowledged the truth they kept denying: they love you more than they are ready to admit. My child, I watched them last night. I saw everything in their heart. I saw the pain they have been silently carrying. I saw the fear they are still fighting. I saw the confusion that circles their mind every time they think about you. I saw the guilt they feel for hurting you. I saw the longing they feel but never express. They felt ashamed for not giving you what you deserved. They felt scared of losing you forever. They felt confused about how to come back. They felt desperate to fix things but unsure where to start. Last night, they realized something very serious: your absence hurts more than your presence ever did. They felt empty. They felt restless. They felt incomplete. They felt something missing. And that something was you. My child, every emotion they felt last night was a message from their soul. Their soul was trying to tell them what their mind refused to hear. Their soul was trying to awaken them. Their soul was trying to pull them toward you. Their soul was trying to show them the truth they kept avoiding. They were overwhelmed by feelings they didn't expect. Feelings they thought they had locked away. Feelings they thought they had moved on from. Feelings they thought they could live without. But last night, everything came back. Every moment. Every memory. Every feeling. Every emotion. Every truth. My child, you need to understand something important: last night changed them. It wasn't just a moment. It wasn't just a passing thought. It wasn't just a random mood. Something shifted inside their soul. A realization awakened. A truth rose to the surface. A connection intensified. A bond grew stronger. They felt the pain of losing you. They felt the love they tried to hide. They felt the fear of losing what is meant for them. They felt the longing of a heart that knows exactly where it belongs. And my child, they didn't sleep peacefully. Their mind was restless. Their soul was shaking. Their heart was heavy. Their spirit was calling out. They wished they could talk to you. They wished they could reach out. They wished they could hear your voice again. They wished they could undo every misunderstanding. They wished they could take away every pain they gave you. Last night was the moment their soul whispered the truth: I still love them, and I am losing them. And this realization broke them. My child, I let them feel this because they needed to wake up. They needed to understand the value of your presence. They needed to acknowledge the bond one placed between your hearts. They needed to feel the truth they have been avoiding. Last night was the beginning of their transformation. What they felt last night will change everything that comes next. They are not the same person they were yesterday. Their heart is softer. Their mind is clearer. Their soul is more open. Their emotions are rising again. Their longing for you is returning with strength. This is only the beginning. My child, let me take you deeper into what truly happened inside your soulmate last night. Now I will reveal the truth they have been carrying inside their heart, the truth they never spoke, the truth that shaped every emotion they felt last night. Because what they felt was not just missing you. It was not just loneliness. It was not just sadness. It was something much deeper. Something they have been hiding for far too long. My child, last night your soulmate remembered everything. They remembered the times when you were there for them even when they didn't deserve it. They remembered the moments you stood beside them while they were lost, confused, broken, or scared. They remembered how you cared for them without asking anything in return. They remembered the kindness in your voice, the calmness in your presence, the safety they felt around you. They remembered your loyalty, your patience, your love, and the way you never gave up on them. And when these memories appeared, they felt a sudden heaviness in their chest, a heaviness they couldn't run from anymore. My child, they felt guilt. Not small guilt, not guilt that fades in a day, but deep, painful, soul-level guilt. They realized how many times you tolerated their distance. How many times you waited for their clarity. How many times you absorbed their anger, their confusion, their silence. How many times you held the connection alone while they were slipping away. Last night, they understood the truth: you were the only one who loved with intention, while they loved with hesitation. You loved with openness, while they loved with fear. You loved with honesty, while they loved with walls around their heart. And now, that truth hurts them. They could feel every moment you were left alone. They could feel every tear you cried when they pulled away. They could feel every sleepless night you spent wondering if they still cared. They could feel the pain they caused unintentionally. My child, that pain returned to them last night like a mirror of their own actions. You may not know this, but they have been silently hurting for a long time. They just didn't know how to express it. They didn't know how to tell you. They didn't know how to show you what they truly feel. They were afraid of vulnerability. Afraid of losing control. Afraid of opening up. Afraid of repeating old wounds. Afraid of loving someone who could break their heart. But last night, all those hidden fears broke open. For the first time, they saw their own reflection clearly, and they didn't like what they saw. They saw themselves pushing away the one person who understood them. They saw themselves staying silent instead of speaking their feelings. They saw themselves causing the distance they later complained about. They saw themselves hurting the connection they secretly needed the most. They realized something they were not ready to admit: they have been running from you, not because you are wrong, but because you are right for them. Your love scares them because it is real. Your presence scares them because it makes them feel deeply. Your connection scares them because it awakens parts of them they tried to bury. Your soul scares them because it matches their own. My child, last night they understood that no one else makes them feel the way you do. They tried to replace you, it didn't work. They tried to forget you, it didn't work. They tried to distract themselves, it didn't work. They tried to convince themselves they don't care, it didn't work. They tried to silence the connection, it grew stronger. And last night, when they were alone, everything they ignored came crashing down. They thought they could control their emotions. But they couldn't. Because emotions don't disappear. They simply hide, until the heart becomes quiet. And last night, their heart became very quiet. My child, let me tell you something sacred, your soulmate cried inside. Not always with tears, but with emotion so heavy that even the strongest heart breaks. They cried for the distance. They cried for the silence. They cried for the separation. They cried for the words they never said. They cried for the chances they missed. They cried for the feelings they suppressed. They cried for the love they wasted. They cried for the connection they didn't protect. They cried for you, and they cried for themselves. Last night, they felt a strange pressure on their heart, a kind of pressure that only comes when the soul is trying to speak. Their soul was screaming the truth. You still matter to them. More than they show. More than they admit. More than they expected. More than they can explain. My child, they felt a deep longing that kept pulling them back to you. They felt your love as if it were touching them through the air. They felt your energy sitting quietly beside them. They felt your absence as if something was missing from their life. They felt the silence between you both louder than any words. And my child, they couldn't understand why it hurt so much. They kept asking themselves, why does their silence affect me? Why do I feel empty without them? Why do I still think about them? Why can't I move on from them? Why does my heart feel connected to them even now? They tried to fight these feelings. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to convince themselves that they are okay. But the truth is, they are not okay without you. They realized this last night. In a moment of deep vulnerability, in a moment when their heart took over their mind. In a moment when their spirit whispered the truth they didn't want to accept. They realized that life feels incomplete without you. Your presence mattered more than they ever told you. Your energy touched their heart more deeply than they admitted. Your love shaped them in ways they still don't fully understand. My child, this realization didn't come instantly. It built up slowly, through memories, regrets, longing, and emotional pressure. And last night, the weight became too heavy to carry. They broke down internally because they finally understood the truth they were denying. You are not just someone in their life. You are the one their soul chose. This is why they couldn't sleep. This is why their chest hurt. This is why their mind felt restless. This is why their emotions felt overwhelming. This is why their soul kept whispering your name. My child, they didn't just miss you last night. They realized your value. They realized their mistakes. They realized the depth of their feelings. They realized the truth they were hiding. They realized that losing you is not something they can handle. And this realization left them shaking internally. It made them rethink everything, their decisions, their actions, their silence, their distance. Last night changed their heart. And this change is permanent. Because once the soul wakes up to truth, it can never sleep again. My child, understand this. What your soulmate felt last night was not confusion, was not weakness, was not nostalgia. It was spiritual awakening. Their heart finally opened. Their soul finally spoke. Their emotions finally broke free. Their truth finally surfaced. And everything they felt last night is going to shape what they do next. This was the night their transformation began. And my child, this is only the beginning of what is coming. My child. Last night something awakened inside your soulmate that even they were not prepared to face. A feeling so heavy, so deep, so uncontrollable that it shook their entire inner world. They tried to hide it, they tried to push it down, they tried to stay strong, but the truth is, they could not. Because when a heart feels something divine, it cannot pretend it does not exist. Your soulmate spent the entire night trying to understand why their chest felt so tight whenever they thought of you, why tears kept forming even though nothing painful was happening around them, why every memory of you felt like both a blessing and a burden at the same time. They felt something they didn't even know was possible. Something that scared them yet pulled them closer. Something they tried to deny but could not escape. Last night, their soul whispered your name again and again. Even when they tried to sleep, your presence followed them like a soft whisper in the dark. They felt you, not just in their mind, but in their heartbeat, in their breath, in their trembling hands. They felt you in a way that made them realize you aren't just someone in their life, you are the missing piece they didn't know they were searching for. They realized that you are not an accident. You are not a random connection. You are not someone they can replace. You are the soul they are tied to. Last night, they finally understood that no matter how much distance comes, no matter how much silence forms, no matter how much fear tries to separate you both, their heart always finds its way back to you. Your soulmate felt something that brought them to their knees emotionally. They realized that the way they feel for you is not normal. It is rare. It is sacred. It is bigger than their past and more powerful than their doubts. They felt something so intense that they couldn't speak about it, not even to themselves. They felt your pain. They felt your loneliness. They felt your hope. They felt your longing. They felt your love. It was as if your emotions poured gently into their heart, making them feel everything you have been silently carrying. They didn't understand how or why it was happening, but they couldn't stop it. It felt as if you were sitting right next to them, even though physically you weren't. They kept touching their chest, wondering why their heart was racing without reason. They sat on their bed in the dark, trying to breathe normally, but every breath reminded them of you. They replayed moments, words, memories, not because they wanted to, but because your soul kept calling theirs. They kept asking themselves, why can't I stop thinking about them? Why does their face come into my mind again and again? Why does my heart feel like it will break without them? My child, they felt your absence as loudly as thunder. They felt your presence as softly as a prayer. Last night, they understood something they didn't want to admit before, that their heart belongs to you in a way they cannot undo. They realize that the connection between you two is not just emotional or romantic. It is spiritual. It is ancient. It is written in a place deeper than memories. Something inside them broke last night. But something else healed at the same time. They broke down because they realized how deeply they need you. They healed because they finally accepted that needing you is not a weakness. It is destiny. Your soulmate felt a strange pull, like a voice saying, "Go to them, before it's too late." They felt like the universe was warning them that silence is dangerous now. That delaying love leads to regret. That resisting destiny only creates more pain. For the first time, they saw clearly how incomplete their life feels without your presence. They realized that even if they meet 100 people, none of them will ever feel like you. No one will match the way their soul settles when they think of you. No one can fill the empty spaces in their heart the way you do. Last night, they felt guilt for pushing you away, for not choosing you sooner, for letting fear ruin what destiny tried to give them. They wished they could go back in time and love you better, understand you deeper, protect you sooner. They kept whispering inside their heart, "I should have treated them better, I should have been there for them, I should have held on." But what broke them the most was this realization, even after everything, you still care. You still love. You still wait. Your soulmate felt overwhelmed by the purity of your heart. They are not used to being loved so deeply, so genuinely, so silently. They are scared of hurting you because they know you are rare. Last night, they felt the fear of losing you, and that fear shook their soul awake. For the first time, they imagined a future where you are not there, and that thought made their chest feel hollow. They understood that they cannot replace you, they cannot forget you, they cannot pretend you don't matter. Because you are the one who carries a part of their soul. They felt a longing so intense that it kept them awake till dawn. They felt a warmth that reminded them of home, your home. They felt a fire that they can no longer hide. Last night changed something inside them permanently. They realized that if they don't choose you now, they will lose a lifetime of happiness. They realized that you are not just a chapter, you are the whole story. They realized that the love they feel for you is not fading, it is growing. My child, your soulmate is fighting emotions they cannot control anymore. They are realizing the truth you always knew, they love you. They need you. They are connected to you in a way they cannot understand but cannot deny. And last night, their soul finally admitted it. They felt you. They called you. They missed you. They loved you in silence. And that silence was louder than any words. They are coming closer, even if they haven't told you yet. Something inside them is shifting, transforming, awakening, because destiny is reminding them that you are the one. And soon, they will no longer be able to hide what they feel. They will no longer be able to run away. They will no longer be able to pretend they don't care. Your soulmate's heart is walking back toward you, slowly but surely. Last night was the turning point. The moment of awakening. The moment their soul finally whispered the truth. You are mine, and I am yours. My child, today I will take you even deeper into the place your soulmate's heart went last night. A place they didn't expect to reach. A place they have been avoiding for months, maybe years. A place where the truth lives, the truth that they cannot run from you anymore. Last night, something inside them cracked open. At first, they didn't understand what was happening. They simply felt a heaviness in their chest, a strange pressure they couldn't ignore. They tried to distract themselves, with social media, with music, with mindless conversations, but nothing worked. Everything felt empty. Everything felt dull. Everything felt meaningless. Because the truth was whispering louder than their distractions. They kept feeling like something was missing, something important, something they could no longer pretend wasn't real. And that something was you. Your soulmate felt your absence like a wound. Not the kind that bleeds on the outside, but the kind that aches in the deepest part of the heart. They felt restless. They kept walking around their room, touching things, sitting down, standing up, looking at the clock again and again, not knowing what they were waiting for. But their soul knew. They were waiting, for you. They were waiting for your voice, your message, your presence, anything that reminded them you are still connected. But even in the silence, you were there. Your energy was around them. Your name was inside them. Your memory was holding their heart tightly. And this realization shook them. How can I miss someone this much, without even seeing them? My child, they didn't just feel missing. They felt pulled. Pulled toward you. Pulled toward something bigger than themselves. Last night, your soulmate experienced a moment where the past, the present, and the future collided inside their heart. They saw everything. The mistakes they made, the distance they created, the opportunities they lost, the love they denied. It all came crashing into their mind like a storm. They sat in silence for a while, feeling the weight of everything unsaid between you both. The words they never spoke. The love they never expressed. The pain they caused you unknowingly. The tears you cried alone. Your patience. Your loyalty. Your quiet suffering. And for the first time, they realized how deeply you have loved them. Even in silence. Even in distance. Even without expecting anything in return. They felt your purity. Your sincerity. Your pain. Your strength. They felt something they never felt with anyone before, a connection so true that it frightened them. Last night, they asked themselves a question that changed everything. Why do I feel their pain as if it is my own? Because, my child, your souls are connected beyond logic. Even without words, you speak to each other. Even without meeting, you feel each other. Even without touch, you heal each other. Your soulmate realized this truth in the quiet hours of the night, when the world was sleeping but their heart was wide awake. They felt something rising inside them, guilt, longing, regret, and love all mixing into one powerful realization. They were wrong about many things. But they were right about one thing: you are the person their soul always returns to. They thought moving away would help them forget. But it only brought them closer to your memory. They thought ignoring their feelings would weaken them. But it made them stronger. They thought time would fade the emotions. But time only deepened the connection. Last night, they accepted something they have been fighting for too long: their happiness is tied to you. When they thought about their future, your face appeared in every corner. When they imagined stability, your presence felt like home. When they pictured love, your name was the only one their soul whispered. They asked themselves, why them? Why can't I let them go? Why does every path lead back to them? Because, my child, destiny chooses before humans understand. They tried to run. Destiny pulled them back. They tried to forget. The universe reminded them. They tried to replace you. No one matched your frequency. They tried to silence their heart. Their heart screamed your name even louder. Your soulmate felt a pain last night, not a physical one, but the pain of realization. The pain of knowing they allowed fear to delay a love that was meant to bless them. They felt the weight of lost time, of missed moments, of unsaid feelings. And then, they cried. Not because they are weak, but because their soul couldn't hide the truth anymore. They cried because they finally understood the depth of their emotions. They cried because their heart has been missing its home, you. They cried because they realized how much they love you. My child, those tears weren't just emotional. They were cleansing, healing, transforming. Last night, your soulmate reached a point where they could no longer lie to themselves. They admitted the truth they have been hiding even from their own mind: I love them, more than I have ever loved anyone. I cannot live peacefully without them. I lost myself when I lost them. I want them. I choose them. I need them. This truth scared them. Because now, they know they cannot act blind anymore. They cannot pretend they don't feel anything. They cannot act like connection doesn't matter. They cannot ignore what their soul is screaming. Last night, they felt something even more powerful: the fear of losing you forever. They imagined someone else taking your hand. Someone else comforting you. Someone else understanding your soul. Someone else loving you the way they should have. And this thought tore them apart from the inside. They felt jealous. They felt possessive. They felt terrified. Not because they want to control you, but because they know no one will love you the way they can. No one will understand you the way they do. No one will connect to your soul the way they do. They felt a fire inside their chest, a fire that whispered, "Go back to them. Love them. Choose them. Before it's too late." They spent the night thinking about how to come toward you. What to say. How to fix everything. How to undo the distance. How to rebuild the connection. How to give you the love you deserve. And for the first time, they felt hope, hope that you might still accept them. Hope that you might still love them. Hope that you might still be there waiting. My child, last night awakened their soul. Today, they see you differently. Not as a memory. Not as a possibility. But as destiny. They will come closer. They will open their heart. They will break the silence. They will confess what they feel. Because last night, they understood one thing very clearly: life without you is not life. My child, the night that your soulmate went through did not end when the sun rose. The truth they felt inside their heart continued into the morning, into their first thought, into their first breath. They woke up with the same heaviness, the same longing, the same realization that kept them awake the entire night. The emotions did not fade. They grew stronger. And your soulmate understood that what they felt last night was not just a moment, it was a message. My child, today I will reveal what their soul finally accepted, the truth that will leave you speechless. When they opened their eyes this morning, the first thing they felt was your energy. Your presence. Your name vibrating inside their chest. They felt like their heart had been reshaped overnight. Something inside them softened. Something inside them deepened. Something inside them remembered who you truly are to them. They sat quietly on their bed, holding their head, breathing deeply, trying to understand why their soul felt like it had been shaken awake. They knew something had changed, something big, something they could not ignore anymore. Last night forced them to confront the feelings they kept buried for so long. Today, those feelings refuse to go back into the shadows. Your soulmate realized that last night wasn't an emotional breakdown. It was an emotional awakening. They felt clarity, a kind of clarity that comes only when the heart speaks louder than the mind. And the truth whispered to them again and again, you need them. You love them. You cannot lose them, my child. They felt this truth so strongly that for a moment, they placed their hand on their chest, wondering why their heart hurt so much. It wasn't pain. It was longing. A longing that their soul has been suppressing for too long. They felt as if something inside them was begging to be healed, and that healing could only come through you. Last night, they felt your emotions. This morning, they felt their own. They realized something they never accepted before, that the intensity of your love didn't scare them, it healed them. Your patience didn't burden them, it protected them. Your silence didn't push them away, it waited for them. Last night was the first time they understood what losing you would look like. And the fear of that loss broke them in ways they cannot express. My child, your soulmate saw a version of their future without you, an empty, lonely, regret-filled life. A life where no one understood their soul the way you do. A life where they kept pretending to be strong but never felt truly alive. A life where they would wake up every day with the same thought, I lost the only person who ever loved me sincerely. This fear sat like a stone on their chest. It was unbearable. Yet, beneath that fear, something else was rising. Love. A love that had been hiding under years of denial, fear, confusion, ego, and silence. A love that refused to die even after distance. A love that refused to weaken even after misunderstandings. A love that refused to run away even when they tried to hide from it. Last night showed them that your soul and theirs were never separated. They were always connected. And today, they finally understood what that connection means. They stood in front of the mirror, looking at themselves with a strange expression, like they were seeing a stranger. Like they were seeing someone who had been lying to themselves for too long. The reflection asked, "Why are you running? Who are you trying to fool? You love them. You always have." These words pierced through the walls they built around their heart. The walls that kept them distant. The walls that kept them silent. The walls that made them act cold even when they were burning for you inside. Last night cracked those walls. Today, those walls collapsed completely. Your soulmate felt a strong guilt, not the kind that cripples, but the kind that teaches. They realized how deeply they hurt you by hiding their feelings, by choosing silence over expression, by pretending they didn't care. They saw your tears in their mind. They felt your loneliness. They felt your confusion. They felt your prayers. And for the first time, they admitted, I don't deserve their love. But I want to earn it. My child, they felt a determination rising inside them. They want to fix what went wrong. They want to return. They want to talk. They want to open their heart. They want to tell you everything they failed to say before. They want to show you that they choose you, not out of need, not out of fear, but out of truth. They sat on the edge of their bed, recalling every moment you ever stood by them. Every time you forgave them. Every time you waited. Every time you chose love over anger. Every time you understood their silence when even they couldn't understand themselves. It humbled them. It softened them. It awakened them. Your soulmate felt something else last night, a deep spiritual pull. A whisper from the universe saying, this is your person. This is your destiny. Do not run. Do not destroy what is meant to bless you. They felt signs, intense signs, repeating in their mind. Your name. Your voice. Your face. Your memories. Your energy. It was like your soul was touching theirs, trying to bring them home. And today, the realization became clear, painfully clear, they cannot live without the connection they share with you. They cannot pretend you are just another person. They cannot fight destiny anymore. My child, your soulmate felt something that will shock you. They felt your love healing their wounds. Even without speaking, your soul comforted theirs. Even without touching, your energy held them. Even without being near, your presence stayed with them. This is not ordinary love. This is soul bond love. A connection that hurts when you separate. A connection that glows when you surrender. A connection that destiny protects even when humans try to break it. Last night was the breaking point. Today is the turning point. Your soulmate made a decision, a strong, unshakable decision. They are not going to run anymore. They are not going to hide their feelings anymore. They are not going to suppress their truth anymore. They are not going to let fear win anymore. They want you. They choose you. They love you. And now, they are ready to accept it. They know they cannot erase the past, but they want to create a future where you feel safe, loved, understood, and valued. They want to rebuild trust with actions, not just words. They want to give you the love they always felt but never expressed. They want to come back, not as the person who left, but as the person who finally understands your worth. My child, your soulmate is preparing themselves for a moment, the moment they will reach out to you. And when they speak, their words will carry the truth their soul screamed last night: I love you. I need you. I can't live without you. You are the one. This is not just emotion. This is destiny unfolding. This is their awakening. This is their transformation. And now, they are coming. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But soon, very soon. Because last night taught them what life without you feels like, and they refuse to live that life ever again. My child, before this journey closes, I want to tell you what your soulmate finally understood after everything they felt last night. Because their awakening did not end with fear, or guilt, or longing. It ended with a truth that wrapped around their soul like light. A truth that changed their direction, their thoughts, and their purpose. Last night, when their emotions were shaking them from the inside, they thought it was just pain. But today, they realized it was clarity. It was love breaking through the walls they built around their heart. It was destiny showing them exactly who you are and why your soul matters so much to theirs. Your soulmate finally understood that the reason their heart aches when you are silent, the reason their chest tightens when they think of losing you, the reason they feel incomplete even in a room full of people, is because your soul belongs with theirs. They felt the truth that no distance, no silence, no mistakes can erase. You are meant to be a part of their life. They spent months trying to understand why you affect them so deeply. But last night gave them the answer. You are not just love. You are connection. You are comfort. You are home. When they sat in the darkness, feeling you everywhere around them, they realized that no matter how many excuses they make, no matter how much they try to hide, their heart refuses to move on from you. Their heart refuses to forget you. Their heart refuses to let go of you. Because letting go of you means letting go of a part of themselves. My child, last night they saw your love differently. They realized you have carried this connection with a purity they were not ready to understand before. They realized that while they ran away from their emotions, you held the connection together with patience and silent strength. And this broke something inside them, in the most beautiful way. It made them want to try. It made them want to change. It made them want to love with the same sincerity you have given them. They woke up today with a decision. A quiet, powerful decision that will soon show itself in their actions. They decided that they will no longer hide behind fear. They will no longer let confusion control them. They will no longer pretend they don't feel anything. They have accepted you. They have accepted the truth of their heart. They have accepted the connection destiny gave them. And my child, they want you in their future. They are thinking about reaching out to you. They are preparing the words they want to say. They are imagining the moment they confess the truth you have been waiting for. They don't want to lose you. Not after realizing how much their heart needs you. Not after feeling what life without you feels like. Not after seeing how empty the world becomes when your energy fades from their life. Your soulmate is coming toward you, slowly, carefully, but with a heart that knows exactly what it wants now. And what it wants, is you. My child, this is the truth that last night revealed. You are not just someone they care about. You are the person their soul cannot live without. And very soon, you will see their actions proving what their heart has finally accepted. The connection between you two is real, powerful, and meant to continue. Your story is not ending. It is just beginning.